Welcome back, fellow YouTube tamers. Whoops. I'm gonna bet any money that people thought every time I said I was going to give something a break, they had the wrong idea. Cause this happened to me 3 times already. Now, as I look here, one of my friends that, followed me on the stream has deleted me from, well, friends list and even left my guild. I don't know why, but it feels like to me that somebody unknowingly, well, without reason, I should say, just up and left. Wow, man, that I don't know what to say about that. It's like I put so much effort into my stream. It's not that I do not care. It's just the fact that I'm trying to get everything finished. And I'm not ungrateful, to be honest with you. I'm just trying to finish my earlier projects that I have started. Now, for those of you that are new to my stream, uh, don't know me yet, I'm getting you guys the chance to get to know me. This is one of those things that you need to know. Based on familiarity, I have been going through a lot of changes. I've been trying to process a lot of things, and most recently, one of those things happened to be gaming. I've been trying to figure out a routine, trying to get everything to connect so that I could put it into a schedule. As I said, I am only one person. I stream, I edit, and I put on YouTube. I am my own company for the time being, unless, I have like a group of people here helping me out, but I'm only me. So if anybody had any problem with that, please confront me first. It's like nobody wants to talk about anything, even the bad, know, the harsh environment of it all. It's like no one has trust, no one at all. And I wouldn't say a jelly good fellow because that's so old. Um, I'm more of a nice guy. I'm not going to be too harsh. I'm not going to be too hasty. In fact, I put things on top of each other because it takes the waiting period away from uh, my mind, so everything moves along faster. And I feel like that's the sort of thing that keeps me sane. But in the mid of everything else, it's kind of like everybody believes that it's going to happen on another note. And I've been juggling so many things that it's been hectic for me trying to grasp the consideration of editing, streaming, and communicating. And half of those things probably don't mix because uh, people today don't seem to understand that right now. It's like, okay, you see Game Grumps. They have a group of people working nonstop just to get everything out there in time. You've seen Markiplier, which behind the scenes, he's got people, working nonstop just to get everything out on time. Jacksepticeye, I'm not too sure what's going on at his household, but I'm only one guy. I can only do so much at a time. And it feels like there has been this strain trying to grab me, and I'm just slipping away. But of course, people just, unsubscribe or whatever, but I'm okay with that. It's just the fact that people need to understand where I'm coming from. Other than that, I'm pretty much fine. Now, I'm currently working on a uh, edit right now with Metal Gear Solid and stuff, but just to let you know, I'm not doing anything outside of my original border. Like leaving something unfinished, like I did in the past. Um, I'm going to finish Mega Man Battle Network. I'm going to finish the Legacy or the Legend of something Zoids. Um, yeah, I have projects that need finished, and I haven't finished them. So, without further ado, I'm just gonna skip ahead to a good note. We just had a recent update, and I mean last night recent. Pretty good so far. I mean, people can now enter Ibanuman's. Is it Iban? No, it's Ibanum. The Tiger Dungeon, the easy mode, now without any glitches. Apparently, it lasted up till this point, and they fixed it. Um, so yeah, and plus we have, I guess, new rewards. I'm gonna figure that out right now. Uh, so on top of everything, I think they just brought back my favorites. Mysterious paper spread out all over. Let's see. All right. So they're not bringing back the 12 general quests. Now I'm going to freak out because that's all I came back to do. 12 general quests. No, they should have an extra um Digimon here to give out the general quest, and I'm betting any money that it has to be um no, what was that bunny's name again? I'm not gonna say Lotmon because that's the rookie form. Um, what was it? In fact, instead of trying to think about it, it's this. Thank you for adding airtime. No biggie. Um, accessing my Digimon database. Give me a second. Oh, Antilamon. It has to be Antilamon because there's only two Devas in game right now. That is tameable. It's the chicken, which came from Kiwimon, and it is the rabbit, which Lotmon. Um, we don't see the other 10, but I'm hoping it will exist. Hoping. It would be so cool to actually see all 12 Devas in the game. In fact, instead of having like Seedramon and all of that in the dungeons, why not be welcomed by three of the sovereign devas that belong to the sovereigns? That would have been their homework to do. So it would be nicer to see the devas guarding the dungeons themselves before they actually reached the sovereigns. In fact, I think it's too late for them to update it now because people are now used to the way things are today. So, yeah. And I have a list up on my website, which I think I left the links down below. My website, Facebook, and so on and so forth. Uh, of the devas that belong to which sovereign. And I did this because I was frantic on studying up on the Digimon lore. And by doing so, I learned a lot about Digimon. Number one, the Archangels, Seraphimon, Ophanimon, and Cherubimon, concealed Lucimon for dirty deeds. So instead of making uh, Lucimon a fourth archangel, they decided to condemn him for being both dark and light. Because on the dark side, which happens a lot, tends to take over, as you've seen with Cherubimon, um, and try to rule everything. So that and Lucimon keeps turning good Digimon into evil Digimon, which you saw with the Royal Knights, um, into baddies so that they can do his bidding. Uh, then you have four sovereigns that well, technically turn into one giant sovereign, the Golden Dragon itself, Banglongmon. Um, Everybody knows the history of the Digimon. I'm just pointing out the specifics so far. That these sovereigns were creating defenses for the digital world, which is to save the world itself from any other human interactions, because the only people are that are allowed in are the chosen ones with the digivices. No matter how old they need to have a digivice to enter the digital world. And that time it would be the digiarchs, I think it was. But anyway, yeah. And then there was this point in time where it's like all the Geni figures were changing the passwords and updating sources, close off all the gaps that keep appearing in the walls of entering the digital world. So that's another one. But the Royal Knights, and everybody was giving me details that I already knew. Yes, I knew Paladin was the founder of the Royal Knights, which is why it was Paladin and I at Lucimon server building up the collection of the Royal Knights for the guild itself. Which means this, didn't come out right the first time. I was looking for team members that actually fell into the category of their own royal. And I didn't say that they couldn't collect all the royals, that they need to be more specific on which royal that they needed to raise in order to um, have a jump start in the guild. And that royal has to stick by their side for quite some time. Otherwise, it's not going to get anywhere. Like, say, if you were found with Gallantmon, which is fine because Gallantmon's a great Digimon. He has a burst mode. He has a ride mode. and he's a very or overall a very good knight to start with. Some people may put him down because he's too mega-ish and weak beyond comparison of that of Imperial Dramon Paladin mode. And I can see the balance there. And yeah, if it were to come to that, Paladin is a bit stronger within good reasons. But it doesn't take away the fact that, the tamer himself has to be at, or him or herself has to be as good as that Digimon, because you have to think of the attributes that go into your clothing, the clones that go into the Digimon, the attributes of the Digimon to be maxed out, so on and so forth. And this game changed so much that everything added to it boosts that ability of that certain Digimon that you're trying to raise. Plus, there's also chipsets that some new players do not know of just yet, but should begin to learn as of probably tomorrow. Because I'm thinking about starting a Digimon class for those who don't understand how the game works. And uh, as for the technical quirks, there's a way to buff around that, but we will work uh, educationally to get this rounded up so that people, or I should say more people, would be more interested in the game and so on and so forth. Because I'm terrible at trying to explain things. And it's like, if I teach some people how to do things in a proper way, in a proper manner, those people would then create a channel and explain it better than I can. And that would be good for me because I wouldn't have to explain it so much. But yeah, so there's a lot of configurations coming into this game, which is a good thing because on the gamers aspect of it all, it's the gamers experience, it's the gamers uh, thought process that has to come out of the end, because the game itself needs to be like that understandable to that thought process, and pretty much it. And that's what I came into at 2013, because everything had to fall into a specific order. And that order was more than enough to actually put this list together. So if anybody was set with a mega, they had a mega partner, like Crusadermon and Dynasmon and Cantorusmon. But I have to note, Cantorusmon out of all megas is the most strongest so far that I've seen in the Royal Knights. Um, Vidramon, or All Force Vidramon, comes close to second into that, which makes him more unique in style. But as far as armor goes, Magnamon needs a little bit more of a boost. Everybody is crediting the fact that his Magna missiles ain't doing as much damage as they should, even at max. So that and his Magna explosion needs also a boost as well. So clearly, the Magnamon uh, Digi-Egg of Miracles isn't really well worth it at this point in time, because as you see today, people are going after more spirits and more spirits and more spirits, coming after uh, Emperor Greymon and Magna Garurumon, because the Digi-Eggs themselves aren't really that pumped up for what they were supposed to be pumped up for. And as you can tell, they're only useful in the Dark Tower Wastelands, which isn't so bad. I mean, it points out the aspect of it all to where it comes down to beating Chimeramon itself. But as far as we can see, it's the spirits, or the hybrid spirits, that do most of the work in there anymore. Well, context does the most work or in there anymore. So, um, I had to rephrase because it didn't sound right. Uh, Going back to the sovereigns, their mega forms are okay. I just can't believe it takes 10 accelerators to evolve them, but it would be a lot less uh, if, it wasn't for the Jokers. But considering this, you have 4 Digimon slots, the other 4 don't need to change unless they are at max level, right? So you don't have to keep swapping out every time you want to get something done. You'd already have the one that you need to evolve into Fang Longmon. So even if you were to or wanted to ride them, which is fine, it's perfectly fine, nothing wrong with that. But it is the fact that you would have to have um, 10 accelerators to get it past Champion, which they only have like 3 forms: Champion, Mega, and Jogress. Which is what I like about the Digimon Sovereigns to begin with, because they are so massive and powerful in their own right. And I don't feel like they should be rebalanced. It's just the fact that it takes a lot of energy to sustain Fang Longmon to begin with. And for those of you that already used them, already know this, so you don't really have to comment on it. So, yeah. And as far as Jogresses go, we have Alphamon, Examon, and Omnimon. Sorry, just skipped ahead there. Um, yeah, I forgot about Omnimon for some odd reason. We have 3 Royal Jogresses now because before, for the past 3 years, we've only had to deal with 2. And that was disconcerting for me because I was looking for them all. And now that I know that we have Examon, we also have to wait for uh Ja or was his name? Started with a J. Jacemon or something. Jestimon, okay. Jestimon, Leopardmon, and Gankumon. Those are the only 3 that need to be entered into the game so far. Yes, we are keeping tabs, so get on the roll with this. No, I'm kidding. Um, so when it comes down to having like, everything fitting into a role, um, all these roles on the hero's behalf would have to be so that, anybody who's on the dark side wants to PvP will get their butts whooped by the numbers of these members in the guild, which would be like the Sovereign Guild or Royal Knights Guild or Digimon Devas Guild or anything of that sort. Um, but yeah, I've turned a 3x5 XVmon into a butt kicking contest. So anything of a 3x5 or a Mega, dude, the sign is right there. But anything of a 3x5 or Mega, anything works. Anything's possible as long as the tamer is suited up for that moment in time. So it doesn't really matter who you're partnered up with. It's just the fact that you would have to be up to speed with it. Like, you're really used to this Digimon. You are building up for this Digimon's strength and defense and health or HP. But this is one of those key things that you would be setting yourself up for. And for me, it's quite a lot because I spent a lot of time in this game. And I would have to train a lot of people into doing these things all over again, but it's the fact that I want to teach future teachers to do this because I am very terrible at explaining things, and I'm pretty sure that they can do a better job than me. And I just wish that this would be something that I could actually work up on a good serving schedule because, like I said before, I have a lot of projects that need finished, and I have so much work to do as of now. I got like 5, maybe 6 videos to edit. So whenever it comes time, I'll come back to this and do more maze quests. But this video is to give an update on what I've been up to so far or recently, and yeah, try to give people the help to understand where I'm coming from as one person doing all of this at once. So, if you could, please help me work out a schedule so I know how to get everything flat out and just, worked on. So, until then, this is your King Willick speaking. We definitely did not play Digimon Masters, but we do have it on display. I was farming for a little bit and working on a few kinks. So, I'll see you again soon. Peace.